Okay, now think back to January, when I suppose all of us had the January blues. So at that time, we launched our search for happiness and promised two viewers, Dot and Glenn, who are here with us today, that we could make them that little bit happier. But the question is, has it worked? Well, remember we measured their happiness levels in the first week, but are they any happier 4 weeks on? Well, we have our life coach, Nina Grunfeld. She's here with the latest, and I'm delighted you didn't get over with the snow last week.
No, I was so looking forward to seeing Dot as well and watching the tap dancing and everything, but...
well, you got over this week.
Yeah.
This is the good thing. When we started in week one, because we're going to go back to the beginning, because we're now 4 weeks later, we're at the end. When we started in week one, the first thing you introduced us to was the balance chart. And you said anybody who wants to assess their happiness has to start by filling out the balance chart. We're going to show a picture for everybody at home. You've probably seen it before. Will you explain it again, Nina?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way that it works is really that instead of saying I'm feeling unhappy and just having a blanket unhappiness, is looking through each area of your life and just finding out where exactly the unhappiness is.
Right.
And it may well be over 3 or 4 areas, but there's usually a few places, like in Dot's case. She's fantastic with her family, and she's fantastic with her friends. So those areas were really high.
Okay.
So it's important.
So everybody's going to be different.
Everybody's going to be different, absolutely.
The chart. Okay, and we have all the instructions on the website as to how you fill out the chart. Okay, Glenn, let's start with you. We'll start with our 4 weeks ago. Can we have a quick look at Glenn's balance chart as it was when you came into us 4 weeks ago? Now, we've converted it into a bar chart just to make it easier for us to look at. Okay, so what were the areas you wanted to address here? What were the problem areas, Nina?
Well, you could see that career and money were low, and those are quite difficult areas to start with if you're doing this alone at home, as it were. But creativity was also low, and I knew that Glenn was very creative from the conversation we'd had. He writes, he's been a DJ, he loves talking to people, listening. So it seemed very important to me to sort of start work with the creativity. And so one of the things that you kindly suggested was that he went to see Sheila O'Flanagan, which was...
the author,
which was a fantastic success and a lovely thing for Glenn to do. And then he also went to a career coach, which was someone very specialist that could help Glenn work out his next steps.
So what you did was essentially you sent Glenn to see people that were working in the area that he wants to work in. Doesn't matter, for anybody else, could be a different area, but essentially he started the road.
He just started, and I think just by gradually taking control and doing things. It's all about doing things, because when you're unhappy, you don't feel like doing anything. So it's all about just starting with whatever it is. And in his case, it was those 2 areas. And I think that's sort of helped him on his way.
Yeah, sometimes it's always about just making that first phone call.
The first step. Yeah.
For you, okay, what have the changes been, or what have you noticed in 4 weeks?
Well, and just, I've got a better idea now of what career I want to go into. It is a bit of life coaching. I've enrolled in a course to do a life coaching course, and radio as well. I've enrolled in a radio broadcasting course in Waterford. And I'm also, going to do some work experience on radio. From being in touch with John Fitzgerald, who's the careers guy, And
how does because all of this is about happiness.
Yeah.
So how does all of that affect you inside?
When I started, I had no idea of what career I wanted to go into. So I wasn't very happy, So with, I've kind of a clearer idea now of where I want to go. So it just makes me feel happier knowing that, okay, I've identified what I want to do, where I want to go. And now I kind of have the steps. I know how to get there.
It's just a bit like having your rudder. You were just lost.
Just a bit
Did you
stuck,
feel you were floating?
Lost. Yeah. I needed to get some advice from people like Nina and John, like I say, and just that basically helps me to get more direction.
When somebody says that they've got more direction, what do you, as somebody who is a life coach and works specifically in happiness, what do you see as the underlying current that has changed?
Well, it's very interesting because, Glenn in so many ways, he's lost 5 stone in diet, and he's really fit, and he's looked after himself really well. And yet the confidence from losing that weight hadn't gone through to other areas. So it's a matter of building up the confidence in the other areas very, very slowly. And, if he throws himself into something that he used to love doing, like the writing, the confidence will come up.
Okay.
So it's very much just, and with the confidence, the happiness follows, because you do feel in control, you do start feeling better about yourself. And confidence is one of those things that can be learnt. We always think it sort of comes from outside, but, you know, we are confident about doing up our shoelaces. It's all learnt. So he's starting on the path to learning the direction he wants to go in.
So the more practice. So basically you started something, you took control and you started something.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we talk about Dot?
Absolutely.